Hello friends, schoolsteps.in welcomes you again. In this tutorial, we will talk about how to send large blobs of binary data such as images over the Bluetooth. For this purpose, we will take help from the asset class. Assets automatically handle caching of data to prevent retransmission and conserve Bluetooth bandwidth. A common pattern for a handheld application is to download an image, shrink it to an appropriate size for display on the wearable, and transmit it to the wearable application as an asset. We will also discuss two other topics in this tutorial. We will use async call in place of sync call. So this time we will not use await method as well as the thread class. We will use listener activity in place of the wearable listener service. So our wearable activity has to be active at the runtime. In this tutorial, we'll click a picture using the camera and send it to the wearable device. Let's do it. Open Android Studio and create a project with the name My Assets. Click Next. Choose phone and tablet as well as Wear. Keep clicking Next and click Finish. Now first we need to work on the mobile module, and under the mobile module you need to look for res folder, expand layout under it and open activity main.xml. Delete this and from left hand side look for image view, which is right here. Put it right here in the center and top. Now place two small buttons below it. Now let's go to the source. Now inside the image view, let's define the source. Let's say drawable and let's define IC_launcher. One quick thing, let's go to the show in files of drawable, and right here I have already placed IC_launcher. As we are using the latest API, by default you won't get it, you need to place it here. If I go to the res folder, you can see that right here it is MIP map HDPI and the related folders instead of drawable-HDPI. If you open these folders, you will get IC_launcher. Now let's call this button as take picture, and let's implement the on click property of this particular button. So right here, let's say on click is equal to take picture on click. We need to implement this method in the main activity. Now let's call this button as send picture, and let's implement the on click property, and we need to implement the method send picture on click in the main activity. So we need to implement this method as well as this method. Let's go to the design. So this is how it will look now. Now let's go to the main activity of mobile module. In the main activity, we need to create object of Google API client, and we need to implement the required interfaces as we did in the previous tutorials. Let me do it quickly. So I have created the object of Google API client. I have implemented the required interfaces, and right here I have declared few variables. This variable image_path is referring to the unique path, and we are going to use these two variables later. Now let's go to the onConnected method. So the difference here is we are not gonna do anything in the onConnected method. Let's delete these two methods. These were generated automatically. We are not gonna use them. Now next thing that we need to do is to implement the method take picture on click. This method will work on the click event of the button. Now inside this method we need to write the code to open the camera and to click the picture. So we need to say intent take picture intent is equal to new intent, and right here in the parameter we need to say media store dot action_image_capture. Next we need to put one if condition. We need to say if take picture intent dot resolve activity, and we need to pass package manager here. So we need to say get package manager, and we need to check not equal to null, then do something. Now here we need to say start activity for result. And inside the parameters, we need to pass take picture intent, and then we need to pass request image capture. Now request image capture is referring to the variable which we have declared right here, and the value is 1 here. Now as we are using start activity for result right here, so we need to override the method on activity result. Let's do it. So look for on activity result and click OK. It will override the method. So right here inside the on activity result method, let's delete super and let's put our if condition here. So we need to say if request code is equal to request image capture and result code is equal to result underscore OK, then do something. Here result underscore OK, it belongs to the class activity. It is declared right here. Now inside the if condition, we need to say bundle extra is equal to data dot get extras. Data we are getting from here. Now next we will be needing a bitmap. So let's declare the bitmap right here. So we need to say bitmap. Let's call it my image is equal to null. And right here we need to say my image is equal to, we need to typecast, we need to say bitmap, and right here we need to say extra dot get, and in the parameter we need to say data. Now next thing that we need to do is we need to say image preview dot set image bitmap, and right here we need to pass my image. So what exactly is happening here? When we click on the button, it will start the camera, and when we click the picture, it will call start activity for result, and it will further call this particular method which is on activity result. If the picture click is successful, we'll go inside the if condition, and right here the picture which we have clicked using the camera, we'll get it here, and we are setting it as a preview in the image preview, and image preview we have declared right here. So right here inside the onCreate method, we need to initialize the image preview. So we need to say image preview is equal to, we need to typecast, and we need to say find view by ID. We need to say r dot id dot image view. So if you remember, we have declared this image view in the activity main.xml of main activity. So whatever picture will click, it will come as a preview right here. Now next we need to implement the method send picture on click. This method will be triggered when we click on the button send picture. So this method will actually send the picture from cell phone device to the wearable device. Before we implement send picture on click method, we need to implement another method, that is convert picture to asset. So we need to say private, return type is asset, method name is convert picture to asset, and the parameter is bitmap. Now the first thing that we need inside this method is the object of byte array output stream. We need to put one try block, and inside the try block we need to initialize the object of byte array output stream. Next we need to compress our bitmap. So we need to say my image dot compress, and in the parameter we need to pass bitmap dot compress format dot png. The second parameter is quality. Let's pass 100. And the third parameter is byte array output stream. Next we need to say return, use the class asset dot create from bytes, and in the parameter we need to pass byte stream dot to byte array. So what exactly we are doing here is we are compressing our bitmap and returning it in form of asset. Next we need to put one finally condition here. We need to make sure that we are closing the byte stream right here. Now we need to implement the method send picture on click, and inside this method the first thing that we need to do is to call the convert picture to asset method, which returns the asset. We need to wrap this statement inside one if condition. So all we are doing here is we are making sure that my image, that is bitmap, is not equal to null and Google API client is connected. In the else condition, we can put a log statement. So now right here we need to use this asset object. We need to pass it to the data layer. So let's create a method with the name send image to the data layer, and let's pass asset right here. Now this method doesn't exist, so we need to create it. So let's create the method right here. And the first thing that we need to do inside this method is to make sure that Google API client is connected. So we have put one if condition. Now, as we did in the previous tutorial, we need to create the object of put data map request. So we need to say put data map request is equal to put data map request dot create. And right here we need to pass one unique string as a parameter. So we need to say image underscore path. If you remember, we have already created one unique path right here. Now next thing that we need to do is we need to say put data map request dot get data map dot put asset, and inside it we need to pass one key which is image, and we need to pass the asset. Next, let's add time to it just to make sure that data is changing every time. So we need to say put data map request dot get data map dot put long. Let's give the key as time, and let's define new date dot get time. Now next we need the object of put data request. Earlier we have created the object of put data map request. Now we need to get the object of put data request. So we need to use put data map request here dot as put data request. This will return the object of put data request. Next we need to say Wearable dot data API dot put data item, and inside the parameter the first thing we need to pass is the Google API client, and the second parameter is put data request. So outside the bracket we need to say dot set result callback. Now here we need to pass data item result as a parameter. So we need to say new result callback of type data item result. The moment you press it, it will override the method on result. So inside the on result method, all we need to do is to put one log statement. So what exactly is happening here? If you remember, in the previous tutorials we used another class that extends a thread class, and inside the thread class we use the method await, which was synchronous call. And instead of using the thread class and the await method, right here we are using async call. So we are taking the help from the method set result callback, and right here inside the on result method we are getting the results. Now next thing that we need to do is to open the Android manifest.xml file of mobile module, and right here we need to make an entry for the metadata. If you remember, we have already done this kind of entry in the previous tutorial, and this entry is required because we are using the Google API client. So friends, with this we are done with the mobile module. Let's take a break here, and in the next tutorial we'll continue with the Wear module. Thank you. Friends, with this I take your leave. Thank you so much. Please like our page on facebook.com/letsandroid. If you have any query, do write us at info@schoolsteps.in or schoolstepsin@gmail.com. Thank you.